Ah, just problems with all of these machines. Hello, happy Monday, folks. Happy Monday. Uh, Thank you all for coming in. I do appreciate it. Thanks to all those that come in to catch the live broadcast itself, and for those that come back for the replay. I do appreciate it. I am Wanda of Wanda Budgets and Beyond. Want to do a live this time, folks, a live, trying to get back into the swing of things. So yeah, here I am. I am on this new iPad that I got. So so used to my MacBook. I don't know what's going on with these things. This MacBook, and it's an older MacBook, so I probably need to get a new one, but nonetheless that's not going to happen. And then I had this, I call it Android, but this Chromebook. They've been working before now, and now all of a sudden for this live it did not want to work. But here I am, folks. Here I am with women, money, fears around money with women, etc. And this is an article that I printed out from CNBC Women and Wealth. And the title of it is How Women Can Step Out of Their Comfort Zone to Build Wealth. Be intentional, managing fears, experts say. So just a little bit on that. And these conversations can go a whole lot of different ways. Women having fear about money. And in this article, it talks about women cite fear as the reason for them not, as the thing that stands between them from living the life that they actually really want to live, I guess, now and into the future. This article from a poll is citing that fear was the thing, etc. And I get it. I get it that women, just people in general, are fearful of stuff. Some people never grew up, never was taught about money. And if they got married or something like that, or was in a situationship, they may allow their partner to handle all of the finances. So they just never really learned about money, or know very little, or was just fearful of it, etc. And that's probably not a good place to be. Okay, I'm learning things on my iPad as it goes. Okay, all right. Because I'm so used to my Chromebook. But nonetheless, yes. So women cite fear as the thing that stands between them and getting or having the life that they want now, and I guess into the future. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. I am not. Okay, I'll just leave it. All right. So I'll just keep going on. And I think that some people, when they think about women and money, hello, Lisa. How are you? How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. When we talk about women and money, most people think that women love to spend money all the time. And yes, there are some, maybe quite a few, that do like to spend money all the time, etc. And then there are some that do not. There are some that save, they invest, they are frugal, kind of thrifty, but they manage their money in a great and decent way, whatever that is for them, because everyone's situation is different, and how people look at money is different. Money is psychological, as I say all the time. And I heard that from Susie Orman on one of her, this was eons ago, when she was actually, excuse me, on CNBC, and she had her program, and it was fantastic. I loved it. It was funny, and she gave good advice, and people would call up and say, can I afford this? I think was the name of the segment, but there could have been other segments. Can I afford this? And it was great. Money is psychological, folks. Money is psychological. So women being fearful about money. Like I said, sometimes when folks are married, they aren't used to handling money. They don't want to handle money. Maybe this is more money than they've ever seen because there are two incomes there. They don't want to have anything to do with money. They just have a fear of it. And I will tell you right now, do not get educated about money. Do not be fearful about money, because it is what it is. Money is controlling the world. One aspect of it is money. A big, large part of it is money. There's very little you can do without having type of money. You can't start a business. You can't pay your employees. You have to have medical care, medical insurance. That is a financial cost. Of course, food, gas, all the things that you need to be able to do and have to get you to your job. You got to have car insurance, et cetera, on down the line. It involves money. What else did this article say? When it comes to managing, yeah, that we already talked about the fear thing, etc. What else is on my notes? Um, it says in here, regardless of their household income, 93% of women feel stressed when it comes to money. A recent report by Fidelity Investments found. Once again, you have to remove that fear. You have to find a way to relax yourself about the fear, remove that fear, and jump into learning all that you can about money for yourself. And if you aren't married, and I know that sometimes people do have children and they're not married. I know that I did that sadly, but that's a whole nother thing. If it's just you yourself, or you have children and it's just you're a single mom, etc., you need to know about money, because trust and believe, most single moms will tell you that, the single moms that were never married, and maybe some of the single moms that were married and now that they are divorced, it gets a little tricky with the money, from the other spouse, etc. That you need to be able to take care of yourself. You need to be able to manage your money properly so that it can last for the week, the 2 weeks, a month, until your next paycheck or until your next alimony check, child support check, etc. And of course, we know that you cannot depend or count on those, because sometimes things happen with that. People don't want to pay. People move from job to job to job. People just stop working and someone else is taking care of them, a whole host of things. But you need to be able to know how to manage your money, how to make and manage your money. No one's going to do it for you. Yes, I understand that there are safety nets out here, but please do not depend on those. Please do not depend on those. And if you just look at the climate as it is now and the things that are going on there at the border, and then the people being, moved to these major cities, all the stuff that is happening with regards to that, and the illegal immigrants are getting the funds and money that should be going to the citizens of the people, the residents of that state, etc. So you see that no one is going to save you. They are going to shift the money to something else. And that is a whole nother political bag that I am not going to get into. So you have to take care of yourself. You are number one. And if you have children, you and your children are number one, or your children are number one and you're number two. However it is that you want to say it, do it, etc. You have to be mindful about your money and make sure that you are doing what it is that you need to do to get it, keep it, manage it well, not just be out here frivolously spending, etc. And of course, I always talk about, having the budget, cutting back where you can, when you can, etc. And in these days and times, even more so than before, not just for me, you, or the next, but for everyone, I do believe, everyone is tightening up. And I am seeing articles of people that make over six figures, and maybe they had this opulent lifestyle or they were living beyond their means, which is not a good thing. And, I see these articles where they're saying that they, they're paycheck to paycheck also into. And it just takes, some, just got to redo what it is that you're doing and get back on track, etc. with your money. Stop spending. Start living below your means. All that good stuff that I talk about and other people talk about. And basically in the article, and I don't want to bury the lead, it pretty much says those same things about getting a budget. It also says, I'll just read it. So, for women, financial stress is pretty consistent across all age groups and income. Yes, even those that are making six-figure incomes are, stating in these articles and even on some of these videos that I am seeing on YouTube that they are living paycheck to paycheck. And we will just say to ourselves, the people that are making maybe 50 or 60K, how is that happening? If I were making six figures, there would be no way I would be living paycheck to paycheck. But once again, everyone is different, and who knows what type of lifestyle they were living or trying to live, because a lot of that happens also into. However, financial stress levels drastically decrease with each additional month of emergency savings set aside, according to Fidelity. Once again, it goes back to the basic things that these articles are saying. Doing a budget, having that emergency fund, getting rid of that debt, all those type of things. This is Women's History Month, so Women and Wealth, and this is an ongoing segment that CNBC has, on their digital platform. Roughly 81% of women with no emergency savings felt a fair amount or a lot of stress, and rightfully so. Because when something comes up, and God, trust and believe, if you have a child or children, there is always something. You never know when the next shoe is going to drop, and you're going to need some type of money because they're going to fall down, maybe at school or in the home or outside while they're playing or something, and there you go, you're at the emergency room and they're asking you 1,000 questions about how did this happen, and if your child can communicate, can talk and communicate, and they're going to ask them 1,000 questions to make sure that you weren't the one to do it. Not a good spot to be in. Trust and believe, I know. But it happened with my grandson. But yeah, it gets tricky. But nonetheless, money is involved there. Do you have medical insurance? Do you have health care insurance? Once again, money, money, money rules everything around everyone else or the world. So yeah. Once women have 3 months worth of emergency savings, only 26% report high stress levels, Fidelity found. So it goes from 81% that did not have any emergency funds to when they had 3 months worth of emergency savings, then the stress level went down to 26%. That is a drastic decrease. And it says also in the same that women are more likely to live paycheck to paycheck and consider themselves financially fragile. Yes, I can see what that can happen. And even if you're just out here and living single and you got your own apartment and you may be working at a job to where you're just making the rent and you're able to do all the things, but you do not have any money left for anything extra, no discretionary income, anything left to do anything fun that has a cost attached to it. You're just making the rent, paying your car, paying your insurance, and that's pretty much it. Gassing up your car and buying food and that type of thing. So financially fragile, but you can change it around, get a hold of your finances, get a control of your budget, start saving that emergency fund, start couponing, finding free things to do if you want to do something. I guess if you're out here and you're single and you're 20 something, early 20 somethings, you want to do, you want to be out and about. So but being out and about has a cost. Of course, we know that they recommend 3 to 6 months of emergency savings, and that is just for the bare basic stuff, folks, like the food. It would be food, clothing, and shelter, but clothing, we put that aside. Food, clothing. Why did I say clothing? Food, your utilities, and rent where you live, etc. And maybe your insurance, etc., medical and or life insurance. I would include that also into you are saving for those things, those subscriptions and all this other hoopla. No, those aren't priorities, just the bare minimum. That is what this is saying. And you can include those things in it, and that is great, that's fine, etc., if they are important to you and your family. Maybe there's something for your children, and I get it because I had one. Obviously I got her, but and I get that. The right amount for you comes down to peace of mind. That is with regards to how much you want to save, how many months of emergency savings you want to have. And if you have very little money, like I was mentioning, the people that are making six figures, vice the person that is making 50K. If a person isn't managing the 50K or less of money that they are making annually, then if they started making 100K, they're going to have the same issue. They're not going to be able to manage a lot if they cannot manage a little. And once again, all of these things go back to a mindset shift change, and that takes place at a different pace for everyone and a different pace for everyone. I'm telling you, and I know that I mentioned this a lot, that the the gas price when I went on, what is today? I didn't go out yesterday on Sunday. On Wednesday, $3.35. Normally, the last time I went, I do believe it was $3.19, something other like that. So it has jumped up, and I get it. It's day to day, it fluctuates, but that is crazy to me. And then when I did the short, And folks respond to it, and they tell me that it's $6.41 in California. All the different prices that some of the folks that chime in, say, and the food prices. Oh my goodness! And I was watching Netta's Nest. Go check out her channel, Netta's Nest over there. She's down there in Florida. She does gardening, and she, is in the budgeting community also, because her first channel was Netta Can Budget. So, but go check out. And she was mentioning that she had to go to the store again to get, produce. So she is gardening, and she has, those, things in her garden now. You know, blueberries. She's gonna do some blueberries, some blackberries, and other things. I think she got mangoes also in too. But yeah, she said it was very expensive and very expensive, very expensive. And we know because you and I, the next person, we are going into the stores, buying our groceries, buying our food, etc. And we are seeing that the prices are high, and that's just how much longer can this go on? Trust and believe that it will go on, and the prices will continue to go up. So if you're able to, depending on the size of your family, if you're able to go to the dollar store, and if that works for you, then by all means do that. But these prices are astronomical, folks, astronomical, astronomical. And I did want to mention some of the polls that I did on my community wall, which kind of sort of ties in with the topic here. So 3 days ago on my community wall, I put out the question, have you done your budget for April? And 14 total respondents, of which I am one. So 13 others responded in addition to myself. 79% said no. I was one of the people that said no because I hadn't done mine at the time that I did the thing. And 21% said yes. That budget is key, folks. That budget is key. I mention it all the time. The budget is key. It doesn't matter how much money you have, budget it. If you're just getting $1,500 a month, work to budget that. Budget that. If you're getting 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, if it's just your income or combined income, please budget, folks. Please budget. Please budget. It is going to help you. You get to see a budget is just a spending plan, so you can see where your money is going. So that you can see where your money is going. Hello, Ange. Budgeted. I'm not even looking at this thing. I got a larger iPad, and please forgive me if you have put something in the chat and I didn't see it because I was rambling. I am sorry. Hi, Ange, Budget and Debt. And I know Lisa J. Stocks was here. She still may be here. Please forgive me. I'll try to look at the thing a little bit more. I'm so used to my laptop. I got 4 eyes already. And 7 days ago on my poll, I asked, did you stay on budget over the weekend? And 18 people responded, 19 total because I was one. 68% said yes, that they did stay on budget, and that is great, folks. To the people that answered, that is great. And 32% said no, that they did not stay on budget. And thanks to you all for going to my community wall and participating in the polls, and the happy whatever day it is, and a little, hopefully a motivational little sentence thereafter. Thank you so much for that. And 2 weeks ago I did a poll on how have you improved your finances since the start of the year. And some of the 12 responded, 11 responded. I was one to make 12. Started a budget, 17% said that they started a budget. Paying towards your debt, 42% said paying towards the debt. Learning more about money and finance, 17%. And other was 25%. So that is good. Thank you all who participated in the poll. That is good. That is good. Paying towards your debt. And I'm sure that, and I know I'm one of them. And that's, of course, that is ongoing. That is ongoing for us around here. Yeah. But it is Women's History Month. All of March, almost done. But our struggles and things that we need to do for ourselves to get better, for ourselves, about ourselves, etc. However you want to term it, is continual. Life is changing all the time. We are out here, and we are, in this world, and we have we have different challenges than men And men have their challenges also too, and I'm sure there are some men here that can speak to it. But we have different challenges when something isn't right with the money. If you're in a relationship, if you're married, I'll put it that way. If you are married and or in a relationship and it's either 50-50 in both parts, etc., or if it's, you got the traditional provider type situation going on and something starts to get a little crazy with the money, it can be major if it isn't handled and settled and corrected quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if we have children, most of the time, if something jumps off or goes crazy or right in a marriage with regards to the children, most of the time the children will go with the mother. And then now she is a single parent, a divorce, but single parent nonetheless. And she has to make sure that her stuff is in one spot with regards to her money and a whole host of things that comes along with just the care of children, depending on their age. If the school is a thing, daycare, like I said, depending on the age and all the things that come with that, that stuff requires money. So we can get our stuff in one sock way before all of these big life things that we want to do, like start dating, get engaged, get married, and have children. We can get ourselves together with regards to our finances, and of course some other things, just knowing ourselves, learning about ourselves, learning about Wanda, learning about whatever your name is, learning about you, what it is that you want to do now and in the future, whether it involves, if you want to get married and have children, get married and not have children, um, be just be a career woman, etc. Get get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. That's going to be key. Get to know yourself, and have a good group of friends. Have a good group of friends. Only you can decide whether this person is a good person in your friend group or not. And if they're not, then you know what it is that you need to do. Because we can't let someone else that's in our friend group that's supposed to be a friend, hurt our mental. We can't do that. We can't say that the whole world is against me over here, da 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 da, and then we got 2 or 3 friends in our friend group that do not mean us any good. So yeah. But Women's History Month is March, as you know, and we are on day 25, I do believe. Oh yeah, day 25. Yes. I did see I'm moving on to something. I did see a story with regards to Stellantis, one of the 3 auto manufacturers, and they are based out of, well, the headquarters is in Amsterdam. So, but not top 3 American automakers, but top 3, one of the top 3 automakers, and they had laid off. I want to say it was 500, but it might have just been hundreds, but I don't know whether it's 500. But for some reason, 500 comes to my brain that they laid off 500 engineers. That they laid off 500 engineers. Very interesting, very interesting. And I do recall here President Biden and maybe his administration saying about electrical vehicles, wanting to get electric vehicles. And I think I talked about this a little bit when the United Auto Workers was having their strike last year, the early part of last year, and that got resolved. And here we are. I think I saw something where one of the plants closed down or closed something. I have to go back and see it. But a lot of stuff has been happening with the 2 automakers that we have here, American automakers that we have here, after they got the UAW got their contract that they wanted or negotiated for. Not to say that they got everything that they wanted with that. So a lot of tricky stuff is going on. But if you keep, if the higher ups, for like a better term, if the administration, if the Biden administration is saying, hey, we want electrical vehicles, etc., knowing that most people cannot afford an electrical vehicle, that's problematic. And that's problematic for the union as the United Auto Workers, but more specifically, the people that work at the plant that are a part of the UAW, etc. That is very problematic. So we just have to be mindful and kind of sort of keep abreast to what's going on in our particular field, sector of employment, to make sure that we are, watching out for signs, signals, etc. Because it could happen to me, you, or the next person at any moment where your job can be wiped out, go overseas, etc. So that is something I just brought that up. I just remembered that, and yeah, because we're talking about money, and there are women that work at these manufacturing plants, these car plants, etc. Also in too. So the single ones and or the married ones, and yeah, it can be problematic when they go on strike like they did last last year. But I did not see any reports or rumblings about it. They didn't have. They had a fund to where they could draw money from while the folks were on strike. Not as much as they would make in a week or anything like that, but they did have some funds. And I did not see any stories where people said, "Well, I can't make it because we're on this strike, etc. Hurry up and get the strike over." I did not see any of that, but that does not mean that that did not happen to people, on a person to person basis. Just like when we talk about, or others talk about inflation, here in the news, etc. It's not inflation, it's the prices that the people are paying when you, me, and the next person go to the grocery store. So I get it, big picture, they want to say inflation. Words have meaning. That was one of my lives, maybe a week or so back, 2 weeks back. Words have meaning. It's not inflation. People looking at the word inflation, they'll throw that around. But we're talking about the prices of the food, the gas, fruits and vegetables, all of that food that are in these stores. And other things too, like vehicles, new and used ones. The prices are astronomical, folks. The prices are astronomical. So, Women's History Month again, please, ladies, we're going to get our stuff together. We don't need to be fearful about money, about learning about money, managing our money. Just start out with some of the easier stuff, budget, and when you do that budget, you are going to, and if you're being honest, and that is critical and key, you have to be honest. If you are spending $300 going out to eat, you have to put that you have spent $300 going out to eat. And I know that when some folks start their budget, they'll go back through some of their bank records and see how much they spent on in each particular category, etc. And that is a good thing to do. And if you don't want to do that, then just start with where it is that you are right now. So if we go into April, then you just look back 1 month to see what all you spent, etc. And it may not be, it will all come out in the wash, even if you just did it 1 month back. If you start in April and you look back, this is all the money that I spent for March, etc. on food, then you're going to go with that particular number for food. If it was $300 eating out, that's going to be problematic. You're going to know that you need to not do that because you do not have enough money in your budget to be able to spend $300 just eating out when you have rent/mortgage. Your car, maybe a car note, got to put gas in the car, you got kids, a child or children, etc. You know that you can't do that. So yeah, but start with that budget. Get that $1,000 emergency fund started as soon as you can, and get that debt paid down and stick with the budget. Consistency is going to be key in any of this. Consistency is key with just doing the budget, with the paying of your bills each and every month. You have to do that because you don't want to mess up your credit, because we all hope and plan to live as long as we can, and at some point we may need credit again for something down the road, if not for ourselves and for our children, etc. Yeah, you don't want to mess up your credit. But yeah, consistency is going to be key. Paying the debt, doing the budget, saving in that emergency fund, it is going to be key. Of course, lots of information out here just on the internet itself on how to get started. There are a whole lot of different plans and ways to do a budget, manage a budget, paying off your debt, etc. And just please make sure that you are reading and then taking in the information, and then just kind of sort of playing with it in your mind and your brain. Does this make sense? Does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for my family? Because some things, like I mentioned before, they're here to get you to read and look, and then they want to sell you something on the end, and you don't want to get trapped up into anything. And if you are having a problem with, you have high debt, and you're like, oh my God, now, oh yeah, I'm not afraid anymore of my money. I want to get myself together. I have this high debt over here. I'm doing the budget. I'm putting away money in the emergency fund, but I have this high debt, and I want this debt to be gone. I want it to be gone. I want it to be gone like yesterday. That is not going to happen. You're going to have to pay it off the old-fashioned way. But you don't want to be reading something where they say you can pay off your debt in, 5 or 6 months, or overnight, or give it a week and you can pay off your debt. You don't want to get, ensnared or trapped into something like that. You do not want that, folks. You do not want that for yourself. So just be careful and mindful because we are emotional creatures, and if we can sometimes, just people in general, if we can find some like a get rich quick scheme or a get out of debt real quick scheme, etc., then sometimes people fall victim to that, and that is not a good place. Most of the time it ends up costing you more out of pocket and down the road than it is worth. And once again, you don't want to mess up your credit. And yes, I get it. People have had hiccups with their credit. It happens, and we just move on from that. But yeah, I think that is about it, folks. Women's History Month, Women and Wealth, from the CNBC article. It was written by Jessica Dickler on March 5th this year. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, folks. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Let me see if this shutter thing works. I paired it, so let's see. Okay, that wasn't good. Not good. Okay, I'm going to just hit the X button. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.